What is up, homies? My name is Felix, and I am back with yet another LMMS video. I know that I've been getting quite a few requests for this one here, so today I will be showing you guys how to make kind of, more sad beats, some beats on the sadder side of things today. And I would say that I'm pretty qualified for this because sad beats are a little bit of my specialty. Most of the songs I've produced have, kind of more of a sad vibe to them. But as you guys have seen, I can make any type of beats that you wish. But yeah, so today we're going to be doing that. Before we get into the video, make sure you check out my Instagram and my SoundCloud and stuff. There'll be links in the description to all the playlists of songs I've produced, and on some of the playlists there should be some new songs on there if you guys want to go check those out. Some of them are really good. But yeah, now let's get into this video. So the first thing I'm going to do is get rid of this and get rid of this and get rid of this. We're going to open up this bad boy here and get rid of this. And for this one, I'm going to start off with the melody. Okay, so I just picked a bunch of drum sounds. These drum sounds are pretty standard. You can probably find them in, most drum kits, or find drums that sound pretty much similar to them. So yeah, we have that, and now what I'm gonna do is bring the tempo up to maybe 155 is fine. And now I'm gonna grab a plugin or two real quick. Okay, so I have just snatched up 3 little plugins here. We've got Alpha Free, Keyzone Classic, and then Container, which basically is Redtron. And basically the reason I grabbed 3 different plugins for this one is because we want this beat to kind of be a lot more melodic based. So we're going to focus a lot on the melody and put a lot of detail into the melody, and then have the drums be kind of more simple, because otherwise everything will get pretty overcrowded sounding and it just will not, be good. So I'm going to start off with this Alpha Free, and I'm going to pick a sound from in here. Okay, so I think for this Alpha Free I'm going to use this preset. And then for Keyzone Classic, I usually go in here and I use this one, and then I turn the release up a little bit. And then for Redtron, I think I will add some strings or something, but I'll do that later on. For now, I'm going to focus on these bad boys here. So once we go into the melody thing, some beautiful soul on the comments of my last video told me that you can actually do this to do scale highlighting. So if you look here, it says no scale. Go here and then click Aeolian. For this one, we're using Aeolian because Aeolian is the typical minor scale that everybody usually uses when they're making, sad beats and kind of a lot of other beats as well. We're going to do that, and now we're going to look for which one of these we want to have our scale be in. The scale that I like to use pretty often is F minor, but it's totally up to you. I think for this one, I'll do F sharp minor. So what you do is you just right click on the note that you want, do mark current scale, and now every single note in that scale has been marked for you, so you don't have to worry about going in and looking up each and every note of that key. You can just do it right here really easily. So yeah, that's a super duper cool trick that you can do, and it's super nice. Now what we're gonna do is we're gonna make our melody. So let's start off with probably a minor chord, an F minor chord. Also, I'm not going to spend too much time on making the melody, but I'm just going to show kind of the basics of what I'm going to do here. So I'm going to do this F minor chord, and then I'm going to put one up there, and now I'm going to do a lower chord. Or I'll do this one. And now this is the basis of the chords that we're going to do. So from this, what I would do is I'll go in here, select all these by doing Control and Shift, and now only Shift, click and drag, and then do Control and then down. And so that's how I would do the bass notes, and then I drag this down a little bit. And now I would add a top melody up here, and then after that I'm gonna copy it. So I'm gonna skip through that part, but yeah, this is the basis of how I'd make the chords usually. Okay, so basically I just finished with this little, top melody. It's not really technically a top melody at this point because it's, inside of the chords, but whatever, either way. So yeah, basically I put in these notes, and then I also changed the preset of the piano to the Steinway piano, but now it all sounds like this. So yeah, now that we have that, what I'm going to do is do Control A and then shift click this over. And now I'm going to add the variation within the melody. So usually what I'll do for that is I'll have all of this, and then I'll make this go higher up, and then I'll, resolve it near the end. So yeah. Alright, so basically now I finished this second part of the melody. I added these higher up notes up here to kind of give it, a little bit of variation, and then I kind of took this part and then I flipped it here, and then I added some higher up notes here and just, added a little spice, a little variation, and now it sounds like this. So yeah, I think that sounds pretty good, pretty nice and, melodic and powerful and stuff. What I'm going to do now is move on to the alpha free, and what I think I'll do is do copy and paste and hear how this sounds. And what I'm going to do is change the plugin sound. So yeah, I like how that sounds right there. And now I'm going to go into Redtron and see what we can find within there. Okay, so basically for Redtron, I found this Mark II flute thing, and it sounds pretty good. And what I'm going to do with this is go in here, and I'm going to make a counter melody. I'm not going to copy the same thing. I'm going to make a whole new kind of flute pattern sounding thing. And once I do that, I will get back to you guys. Alright, so I just finished up this little fluty pattern, and now it's going to sound all together like this. So yeah, I think that sounds pretty nice and decent, and I'm going to move on to the drums now. And the first thing I'm going to do is the 808 because I neglected to do that last time, and I think it's a good, step to follow. So I'm going to do Control C, X out of this, go in here, boom, Control V. And now the two things you cannot forget to do is tune this up so that it's in this range, and then go here, do this, and I guess it's not two things, it's three things, and go this and like that. And now you should be all set to make your pattern. And now basically what I'm going to do here is I'm going to make how I want the kick pattern to be with the 808, and then I'm going to go in with the kick later and copy that, pattern. Alright, so I just finished this 808 pattern, putting it where I want the kicks to be, and what I'm going to do now is something I probably should have done way earlier, but I'm going to transpose all of these. So this is going to take a little bit of a minute, but I'm going to go to where I like this, how it sounds, and it's probably going to be down a couple. And I think that's good. So basically what I did was I did shift down twice, so I'm just gonna remember shift down twice for all these other ones as well. Boom, boom, and one more. Boom. So now they should all flow together. So yeah, that sounds good. Now I'm just going to work on the rest of the drums, which should not really take that long at all, and we're going to be done. Okay, so I just clicked this add steps thing 3 times, and now I'm just going to do a pretty standard drum pattern. Remember, as I said earlier, we don't want our drums to be too complicated because then it's going to just muddy up the whole beat. We want it to be nice and clean, not too complicated. So yeah, that sounds good so far. What I'm gonna do now actually is put the kicks in. So now that we have the kicks in, we can go and put these snares in. And now I'm going to place this hi-hat, you know, as a lot of songs go, right before this clap or snare, whatever you have there. And I'm actually going to change out this snare. I'm going to put a better sound in there. I think I want like a little like percussion noise, like a little rim shot or something. Alright, so I made these two minor changes here. I changed out the 808 because I was not feeling this empty 808. And then I also exchanged the snares here for this little percussion noise, which sounds like this. And I've used that, I think, a couple times before. So yeah, now the whole thing should sound like this. So yeah, now that we have this, I'm going to add, I think, just one more sound, and I'm going to go into our trusty old sonatina orchestra, and I'm going to pull out some violins from there and just put that in kind of the background. So for this, I'm going to use this second violin's sustain thing. I'm going to go in and copy this, paste this, and now I'm going to go in, delete all these because I want just the chords, get rid of this because I can just copy it over, and now I'm going to do Control and then select all these and drag them out so they last for a long time. And now Control A, click while holding Shift, and now we have these, and yeah, this should be our strings pattern. As you can hear, it sounds very emotional and nice and stuff. But what I'm going to do with this is something a little bit extra. I'm going to actually, I think, add all of these to their own effects track. So I'm going to go into the effects mixer and do 1, 2, 3, 4. And this one will be called Alpha. And then I'm going to do the same and rename all these. Alright, so now I have each of these assigned to their own effects mixer, and the way I did that was I just went in here and assigned it to whichever, you know, one it correlates with. And now I'm going to solo all of these by going like that. It sounds good, but as you can hear, there's like a little bit of clashing frequencies. So what I'm going to do with the sonatina is add an EQ, and I'm going to cut out some of the high end. And about like that is good to me. And the Redtron doesn't really need it, but I think with the Redtron I'm just going to add some reverb. So I'm going to go into reverb and turn it up. And then with the key zone, I'll probably EQ it and then add some reverb as well. Alright, so I put the reverb and the equalizer on the key zone, and it should sound like this now. And with everything, and I think with this sonatina what I'm going to do is put a stereo-ness on it. Okay, so I just put this stereo enhancer effect on the sonatina strings, and it sounds like a lot wider in your headphones now. Or not headphones if you're not using headphones. But now what I'm going to do is the last thing with the alpha, and I'm going to put some EQ on this because it's good to EQ like pretty much every melodic sound that you have. But I mean, you don't have to do this, but it's just like a general thing that I do. Because basically with the EQ, you want to get all this low end out so that there's more space for the, you know, 808 to come in hard. Okay, so I don't really think that this alpha free needs any reverb because it's already pretty wide and reverby track. So for now, I think this is good, and we're pretty much almost done. I think the last thing that we need to do is just separate out the beat and lay it out, and then we'll be fully properly done. Alright, so I just finished separating all of the drums and instruments into their own beat and bassline editors, and then renaming them so I know which one is which. And then I also just put all this in here. And then the last thing I did was I added a hard limiter on the master track, which basically you go to add effects, and then hard limiter, you search it, and then you go to controls, and then you set this dB limit, which is usually at 0. You just set it to like point like something very small. And now none of this should go over 0 dB. So yeah, now I'm just gonna lay out the beat, and basically the way I'm gonna lay out the beat is I'm going to click this over, and then I'm gonna start off with the keys. So basically the way I'm doing this is I switch over to this little square thing, and then you just click down Control and then select what you want, and then hit Control again, and then click and drag it. Basically I'm gonna start up with the piano, and then I'm gonna bring this in, and now I'm gonna bring the hi-hats in like right here, and then the clap as well, and now it's gonna go from this to this. And what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna go to 200 and then get rid of this right here. We have to switch over to that and get rid of that. So it adds just like a little bit of suspension, and I'm gonna do that probably with every little transition. So I'm gonna get rid of this, and I'll copy this over like this. And so when this goes to the next section, it'll also add that little transition. So the next section is going to be kind of the same thing, but we're going to get rid of this percussion sound here. We're going to get rid of the open hi-hat, which I don't know why this open hi-hat is like this. It should not be this long. We'll just go like this. And now it should be good. But yeah, so for the next section, we're going to take out the open hat, and then we're going to get rid of this flute. And I think we'll get rid of this. And now I'm going to copy this over. And I'm going to, for the next section, get rid of the strings. And then maybe add the flute back in here. And then maybe even take out the piano and just put in the alpha free. So now we have that going on, and we can maybe just do this now. And I think for the last one, I'll keep this hi-hat all the way. So now that we have this, we can just copy this over to here now by going to this corner and doing Control again. And now we have this, and then you can do an outro or whatever at the end, but I'm not going to play it for that long, so I won't even bother. So yeah, that's basically one way you could, lay out your beats, but obviously it's totally up to you. Like everything in the video, it's totally up to you. However you like it to sound is how you should do it, but this is just how I did it specifically for this video because I liked how it sounded. So yeah, I hope you guys enjoyed. I hope you guys were able to learn maybe a thing or two. And if you have any questions, leave them in the comments below. Make sure to check out my Instagram, SoundCloud if you wish to. And there's the playlist of songs I've produced, all that stuff, yada, yada, yada. And I will see you guys next time.
What's on your mind? Tell me what you thinking. Why you keeping secrets? Arguing, fight, but I'm always the reason. Sleepless nights turning me to a demon.